Hi folks, Saturday, 14th of September. Okay, let's go straight to the point. Today I want to give you a kind of recommendation with argument, naturally. It's never, not throwing names like that only because I see movement. I do research on every aspect to have a global opinion on a stock. So today I want you to make some due diligence this weekend. You have 2 days before Monday on Gorilla Technology Group, GRRR, GRRR, Gorilla Technology Group. So I don't know from where I need to begin because the story is so deep. I will not talk to you about Gorilla as a company, what they do, where the names of the CEO and all this, you can find this all information on the internet. I want to take my time to talk about the stock. So, what bring my attention was yesterday, they release a PR saying that basically they are going to retire 1.1 million share from the market, from the float. So the actual float is 11.1. 11.1. That means we're going to have 10 million shares in the float. And the available float, is around 5 million. Okay, so it's a very low float stock. That means that the movement and the manipulation by the short can be very deep. And that's what happened yesterday. Yesterday, fortunately, I was not in the mess of the opening because basically the stock opened at 385, then run to 420, something like that. And from there, big dump, the stock was halted 5 minutes because it was going down too quickly. And after that, basically the short take control. A lot of day trader was in the mess and they are bag holding now because they have been paying 3.8, 3.9, 4, 4.1. Some of them sell for loss, and the other are bag holding. Okay. So, do the news was bad? No, it was good. But, as the company is a very low float, the market maker was surprised. And basically what they have done is that during all the run-up, because the majority of the volume of yesterday was at the beginning of the day, after that was very low. Total volume yesterday, 11.8 million. That means that all the float have been turning around. So it's a big movement for the stock. So, during the run-up, because there is no share available, or not enough, the market maker was forced to sell short shares during the run-up. They sell. I've made some DD on that. Roughly, they have been selling around. Difficult to say because they are full of tricks with the fail to deliver, with the naked short, with official short, whatever. With the information that I have in my possession, I can say that they have been shorting around 1 million share. 1 million share to control the run-up and to feed people who was willing to buy. At a certain point, day trader stopped buying and they continue to sell short, and then they bring the price down very aggressively because they were not prepared for this PR. And the price have been falling to 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, and that was yesterday. Okay. Today it was a big volume day because normally the volume on the stock is pretty low. So today was 1.8 million share in volume, excuse me, and the price begin to go up from 335 and we touch 368. And today they cover a bit, not a lot. What's the actual situation? That's the number you need to remember. Write it on a paper if you're afraid to forget. 11.1 million share float. They are going to delete from that float 1.1 million in the next 5 days. The next 5 days since the PR yesterday, so it will be in the middle of next week. So the float is going down from 11.1 to 10 million. Okay. Available float around 5 million. Actual short with the number I have, but I don't have the all information. With the covering of today, they cover a bit, not a lot. They cover like 100 or 200,000 shares. And with the other short of before, I estimate that we have around 1.5, 1.4 million share short. But we are talking about a company with a float of 10 million and an available float of 5 million. So that's mean if the available float is 5 million and they are short 1.5, it's like 20 to 25% short on the company. If we take all the number in consideration. Okay. So now what's going on? We have, as you see the chart in this video, there is several points very interesting, and that can give you some kind of roadmap of the future of the stock. Firstly, what you need to know is that the 30th of September, or maybe before the 30th of September, will be a Monday. So it may be Friday 27 or Monday 30. They are going to release earnings, and they have said in the PR this is very strong earnings because all their clients have give the down payment. They have around $40 million cash plus 25 million in real estate. Actual market cap 35 million. So basically you are only paying for the cash that they have. And they have a lot of contract in Taiwan, in Egypt, Colombia, and others. The most important and interesting one is in Egypt, $300 million in 3 years, so it's 100 million per year. That's the actual situation. So the roadmap, the future, that's what is interesting here. Let me take the right picture. Okay. So we have a gap to fill who has been happening in the first day of June 2024. This gap is around $5.04, $5.08. Okay, I think that's my opinion, that we are going to fill the gap before earnings, so before the end of September. So I see the stock basically taking 20-30 cents a day from today until the earnings. That's mean, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. So 10 trading days taking, let's say, 30 cents per day. That will be, that's a lot. 25 cents, let's say, a day. 25, that's $2.05 plus 3.5. That means $6. Yeah. So I think that the short are going to control the situation and try to cover slowly, daily, the 1.4 million share short they have until earnings. And the fact they need to do this micro covering slowly and steadily during the next 10 trading days will bring us to this gap, which is between $5 to $6. Because, you need to calculate 25 cents a day. That's mean today we touch 370, Monday we go to 39, and then 410, and then 43. So 10 trading day, that's mean $2.5 above the actual price, with 3.5. That means $6. So I think before earnings, we go to fill that gap at between $5 and $6. And from there, I suspect we will have the same kind of movement we see in the first day of February. February, when they announced the contract with Egypt, 300 million, you have a run from roughly $6 to $14 in February. You can see that on the chart. So they need to cover before, because certainly if earnings are good, like we suspect, that's what the CEO have been telling in the PR. If the PR is good, if the earnings are good, we can have this kind of run. Especially because now, since there was a reverse split in April, between April and May, now the float is a lot more teeny than back in February. Okay? In February, there was like 100 million share. So it's different when there is a low float. But let's be conservative. Let's be reasonable. I see that this like a 1-2 punch. First punch, we fill the gap between $5 to $6 from now until end of September. Second punch, we have a huge run after earnings in October, who can bring us to, who knows. I will say between $10 to $14. I know it sounds bullish, but that's what I see on the chart. I cannot lie. I cannot invent or throw numbers from my head, So that's what I see. Today, the algo turned positive on GRRR. American Bulls, can check americanbulls.com. Change the rating from stay cash to buy. And for me, this stock is a kind of ticking bomb, because it was really manipulate at an extreme point. And if now they are retiring shares from the float and deliver good earnings, that can be really, really, really incredible in terms of reaction. I really suspect the short because they know the earnings are the 30th of September. So they know they have 10 trading days to cover. Remember, it's important to remember that they have been shorting from 420 to 385 and more. So that's mean that actually they need to do all they can to cover low. If they can cover like they have done yesterday at 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, it's good for them. They don't lose money. If they don't collect enough shares and the date approach of the date of the earnings, that will be a kind of mess. Because during the run-up after the earnings, they will need to feed the retail who will be, motivated to buy because the earnings. So they will need to have some shares available, and they cannot have already a short position at that moment. So that is the scenario I see coming. I see them control the run-up until end of September, and they will try to collect the more they can under 4.2 by, I'm looking live what they are doing. It's amazing. Basically, you have a 50,000 order to buy, the price run up, and then they push it down with orders of 100 shares, 300 shares, and they bring it down. So it's big manipulation to impeach the stock to run, But they need to do that because they need to collect shares before the earnings, 30th of September. So I suspect that the next 10 trading days, you will see nothing spectacular. Basically a steady rise of 25 cents a day. And when it will run up too quickly, they will short a bit, then cover, then short, then cover. The important for them is to have more covering than short at the end of the day. And don't forget, they have the dark pool, they have the after hours, the pre-market. They can do a lot of things to cover. Now retail, that's another good point here. If you go on stock tweets, you only have 3,000 people who are following. That's very, very, very low. Very low. To compare with Clove, 84,000, excuse me, 84,000. So it's not in the radar of a lot of people. Why? Because day traders were angry after the run of yesterday that didn't with no follow-up because they shorted, and they bring it down. People are busy with other stock who have huge movement, and they will not be attracted here if the price go up by 25 cents a day. But it's a good opportunity for the one who expect good earnings the 30th of September to accumulate. Because I really think, if you see the valuation of the company, that we can do the math together, Float, 10 million, okay. If the price run to $15, that's mean a market cap of 150 million. Only the Egyptian contract is 100 million per year. And we are not talking about the company, the pipeline, the Taiwan contract, this and that. So it will not be crazy to have the stock trading between $10 to $15 per share. I know it sounds too good to be true, but that's the numbers. Now I don't know the future. I'm not a prophet. I'm not God. I'm only somebody trying to understand what's going on. So I invite you to do your due diligence this weekend. I've done it from my side. I've been checking everything. The employee on LinkedIn with this and that, the Egyptian guy whose name Mohammed Morsi, who is have a 7 years experience with IBM, who is in charge of the contract in Egypt. I've do my work, so I know what I'm doing here, and I will be totally transparent with you. I've been loading a big chunk of shares at 325. So you know everything. I'm full, I'm loaded, and I am enjoying the ride. And this was possible because the short trapped the day trader yesterday. The day trader think that we're going to run directly to $10, and then the run stop at 420. And they short aggressively, and they destroy the run. That happened. Because the reason is that there was not enough day trader who was busy, active on this story. There was, they always, each day they have scanner with 10, 15, 20 stock. And, they go where there is the more action. So when they see that the run was, exhaust at 420, they exit and the short even more, and they bring the price down. But for the longs, that's a good news, because now we know that with the volume of 11.8 million share traded yesterday, we know that now there is a lot of shares in the end of longs. We have short running around, and we have all the ingredients to have. I don't think we're going to have a short squeeze, because I think they are going to cover in the next 10 trading days before the run after the earnings. So I don't think we're going to have a short squeeze. I think we're going to have a steady rise by short covering until $5 to $6, and from there a regular run with retail buying going to $10 to $15, and then at the top the short will be shorting again, like they do every time. So it will not be a short squeeze, it will just be something regular, because short squeeze that have been happening with CLOV, and will happen in the weeks to come with EOSE, 51 million shares short over there. That's mean that when good news hit the wires, it's going to be very, very wild. But here it's a small cap, it's a very low float stock. They try to control the story. They know good news is coming, and they will collect, in my humble opinion, not financial advice, they're going to collect every day until the 30th of September in order to have all the short shares out of the books, because they need to be ready after the earnings to short again at the top. So you still have a good entry point, $3.5. If you don't want to wait the earnings, you may sell at $5, $6 per share. And you have a clear view of what's going on. Numbers, news, date. So I urge you by Monday to take a position on GRRR, not financial advice, just opinion based on news, numbers, chart. algo technical analysis. And you see all the rest of the stock I was suggesting are okay. Polestar claiming every day from 70 cents to 1.6 today. Clove from 0.6 to 3.8. Open have been running today, and then they take some profit because, like I told you in the other audio, Open is a story for 2025. This year it will play yo-yo and ups and down. People are just day trading. It's too early for have a big run on Open. Well, depend. If the Fed cut with 50 basis point, maybe, but I don't think so. I think they're going with 25 basis point, and I think the real estate sector will need time because the prices are very high. There is not a lot of transaction, and people have been paying high tag price, don't want to sell home at a rebate, so they prefer delisting the homes that they don't when they don't have an offer interesting for them. So anyway, now I'm focused on JRRR, EOSE, Clove. Mainly that's my point of interest. I have a new stock on my radar in the gold sector, NGD. Huge volume in the last 3 days, with the short pushing the break. So you have the ingredient over there of something huge brewing, but the float is so high, 700 million shares. You will never have, brutal movement. In the case of JRRR, with 10 million shares in the float and 5 million available, that can be a kind of catapult, So you have until the end of September to have a position at a low price. And I think the amount of October will be very, very wild because this stock was beat to death, manipulate at an extreme, and good earnings and news they are buying back shares can reverse the situation here. Take care. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.